Okay, so I tried uploading this video on YouTube. Didn't work out so well because the sound doesn't work for some reason. I mean, I talk like this because, you know, the sound doesn't really portray as well. I don't know why. YouTube's just kind of fucking up for me right now. But anyways, I am going to review the new Van Halen album, A Different Kind of Truth, that just came out. Has new lead singer David Lee Roth. Not really new, he is new technically, but he's the original lead singer from 1984, their prized album, and their original Van Halen, their debut. So, in a matter of speaking, yes, he is a new singer, but he's also the original. So, he hasn't really recorded anything since 1996, I believe it was, with Me Wise Magic and another song. I don't really remember the name of it right now. So, let me start off by saying I wasn't a huge Van Halen fan, actually, surprisingly, before this album came out. I mean, I listened to them from time to time, and, you know, they were alright and everything. It wasn't really one of my favorites. I'm more of a thrash guy, and, you know, metal, I guess. But, I don't know, Bullet for My Valentine's got nothing on these guys. They're legendary, and they're from the 70s, and, I don't know, they're just a great hard rock band in general. Very influential. So, got the album right here, A Different Kind of Truth, and it's got 13 songs on it, all amazing classics. Honestly, it was released in Australia. Sorry, people talking outside. It was released in Australia in February 3rd, I believe, and I downloaded it, but only to buy it later. So, yeah. Start off by saying the first single was Tattoo. Very interesting song. Sounds a little bit like Running with the Devil, actually. Has the same song structure and everything. I mean, of course, the verses and the chorus sounds vastly different, but other than that, it's pretty good. And then there's the next track, which is She's the Woman, and that's off of their 1976 Zero demos. It's got new lyrics, a little bit of a new beat, a little bit of an extra rhythm guitar thrown in the mix, and I'm not sure, there might be another solo. I'm not sure, I haven't really listened to the original. So, and then there's number 3, my personal favorite, or one of my favorites, You and Your Blues. Instant classic, honestly, classic Van Halen. I'm telling you, choruses down to the beat, and then they do it downtown sessions, and then they do it acoustic style in downtown. It sounds like a classic Van Halen song. I almost mistook it for a classic Van Halen song. Like I said, I didn't used to be a fan, but this album has me hooked. I am listening to it practically all day. It's awesome. I love it. And then there is Chinatown. Crazy intro. Just crazy, off the walls. It's awesome. And it goes into a solo kind of thing, and it's pretty frantic, kind of like Hot for Teacher a little bit. It's kind of got that vibe to it. And pretty great singing by David Lee Roth. Great vocals. And it's got that live feel to it, like their debut album, Van Halen 1. I don't know, I call it Van Halen 1. Some people just call it Van Halen. Self-titled debut album. There we go. But then there's Blood and Fire, another personal favorite. It was I don't remember the name of it, but it was on one of their demos. I don't know if it was Zero or some other demo, but it was on one of their demos, and it's from the 70s, so it's an older riff because the demo happens to be an instrumental. So they added the lyrics, a little bit of the bass, and probably threw a solo or two in the mix. Again, Wolfgang. This is the first album with new bass player Wolfgang Van Halen, and he replaced Michael Anthony, the original bassist. And, you know, I kind of miss the backing vocals because Anthony was really good at backing vocals. That was one thing that Van Halen was well known for back in the 70s and 80s, was their great, outstanding backing vocals. And if you listen to Beautiful Girls or Dance the Night Away, you'll know what I mean. Or, I mean, even Hot for Teacher. You know, when they're like, I'll think of all the education that I missed, that one. So, I don't know, just, that's one thing that I kind of miss, but, Wolfgang and Eddie Van Halen do a pretty good job at covering for it. This is a classic Van Halen album. It was just released today, and it's already a classic in my mind. And honestly, before it was even out in my country, America, it was already a classic. And yes, I did download it with the intent of actually purchasing it, so don't get on my case about that. Hell, I even purchased the deluxe album. Again, there are two versions of this CD. One is the standard edition, which only has the music on it, the music CD, and then the second one is the deluxe edition, which also includes the Downtown Sessions DVD with 3 songs on it: Panama, Beautiful Girls, and You and Your Blues. My personal favorite, actually, again, is You and Your Blues, because, like I said, I mistook it for a classic Van Halen song, and it just has a really great vibe. I'm trying to learn how to play it on guitar, but I don't know, until tabs come out, it's kind of hard. And the only track I really didn't care for, or because of the beginning, is Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, which is number 8. It just sounds like scratching nails and techno beats. But then it gets into the actual vocals and the singing, and then it picks up with a pretty crushing solo, and then the track gets interesting. Honestly, in my opinion, if they would have just cut out the intro, that would have been a perfect song, just like all the other ones on here. And number 9 is The Trouble with Never. And that's another one that's one of my favorites. And I forgot number 6 and 7, As Is, and Bullet Head. Bullet Head has the lyric A Different Kind of Truth, so that's where the title comes in. That's where they got the title from. So it's a pretty fast, upbeat track, party track, just like all the other Van Halen classics. And As Is, same goes for that one. And back to number 9, Trouble with Never. It's got a really great chorus, really great vibe to it. It's got sort of like a beach, like laying on the beach kind of vibe, like just relaxing, like that's the trouble with never. Not a good singer. So, I don't know. Good vocals, some great song references. They actually reference the song Dance the Night Away. And just a pretty solid effort. Out of Space is number 10, and that's one of my favorites, along with You and Your Blues and Chinatown, Trouble with Never, As Is. And that one's another one off of the Zero demo. It's called Look Who's Rockin' or something like that. Let's Keep Rockin'. That's what it was. Let's Keep Rockin', and it's on, I think it's their Zero demo. I'm not sure. And I listened to that one. I gotta say, I like Out of Space better, personally. Even though the vocals were recorded back in '76, and they sound really high pitched, and it seems really weird for David Lee Roth to be singing something like that. So I'll stick with Out of Space. 11 is Stay Frosty. That's an Ice Cream Man kind of vibe to it. I think that's what they were going for, like sort of the little bluesy folk tune to it in the beginning for the first half, and then going into the hard rock solos for the second half. And they pulled it off quite well, I gotta say. Number 12 and number 13, Big River and Beats Working. Big River was another one from one of their demos in the 70s, I believe. I don't know if it was early 80s. They had a lot of them. So that one's a pretty good one. My final rating for this album would probably be 9.8 out of 10. If it wasn't for that intro and Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, I would have rated it a perfect 10. But, you know, I'm a stickler for detail sometimes. And honestly, anyone who bashes this band for going on a nostalgia trip or whatever, they have no idea what they're talking about. Because Van Halen is going to do what Van Halen does, and whatever they do best, even if it's going back to what they did in the 80s or the 70s, it's a good thing. It's a great album. It sounds good. Who cares if they remade a few demos from the 70s and 80s? I mean, I don't. It's awesome. It sounds great. I mean, really, how early do you want or how late do you want them to be making this stuff? I mean, do you want them to just, like, write all the guitar parts 5 minutes before recording it? I mean, no, you want them to take their time and go through what they have to make a great album. And that's certainly what Van Halen did. 9.89 out of 10. That's my final rating. Great album. Check it out. Don't download it. Or if you're gonna download it, at least buy it later. That's my final rating.